What's going on, guys? This is the Experienced Optimist. And today I want to talk about how to practice strategic isolation to avoid shady people. Shady people, I have come to find out, are like spiritual vampires that suck the enjoyment out of your life if you let them. So, we are going to be going over ways in which you can avoid them and maintain a better quality of life. So first, how would you define a shady person? Shady people are racist people, vengeful people, insecure people, envious people, and for lack of a better term, your basic hater. However, no matter the type of shady you will come across, shady people are not too clever, and most assuredly will always utilize the same tactics. Namely, shady people will perform the following. They will always try to destroy your confidence. They will always attempt to isolate you so you do not have any support. And they will always endeavor to prove that they are smarter than you. And although many times shady people may be intellectually proficient, meaning they may be good at engineering or business strategies, nonetheless, they lack the core tenets of integrity, masculine principles, and out of the box thinking, leaving them psychologically handicapped. There's a quote that states, "There are those whose primary ability is to spin wheels of manipulation. It is their second skin, and without these spinning wheels, they simply do not know how to function. They are like toys on wheels of manipulation and control. If you remove one of the wheels, they'll never be able to feel secure. Be whole." So, when dealing with shady people, how do you practice strategic isolation? First of all, what is strategic isolation? Strategic isolation is basically building a life where you interact with the least amount of shady people possible. However, this can be harder said than done. And the reason why is because many people think that it is heroic putting yourself in the line of fire everywhere you go by confronting shady people to prove their mettle. And although one should not be a coward, one should also realize that engaging with shady people just to prove that you are the man is a worthless endeavor. Here are some tips to minimize your contact with shady people. Number one, stop going out to aimless parties and social engagements to impress people. One of the tactics shady people will use is that they will invite you to social gatherings and then ignore you once you get there to display how superior they are over you. Do not give them this opportunities. Always decline their invitations. You have better things to do. Another tactic they will employ is that they will try to get you to organize a social gathering and then flake or ghost on you to show that you are not worth their time. To avoid this ruse, you must not play their game. Their trap is knowing that every man, woman, and child wants to be wanted by others. This is the first need you must conquer. Self acceptance is key. Therefore, you have to find it within yourself to not relish in the acceptance of other people. Instead of going to these superfluous parties, go to the gym instead. Take up a cooking class. I'm not sure of your proclivities, but do anything involving self improvement instead of hanging out with such scoundrels. Number two, when working at a corporation, try to develop a niche position within the company that only you are good at and that many people will rely on you for. Remember when I mentioned that shady people will try to isolate you and not give you much support? Shady people do this to sabotage you so you will fail. When you build a niche within the company, do so strategically so you are self sufficient. But do so only if the workload is not overburdensome. For example, if you're the only person who is able to create a certain software application, and it may take the average uninitiated person 3 weeks to complete, make sure you can complete that in 1 week. This will give you extra time to focus on projects outside of work that can improve your life. Therefore, you want to be as strategic as possible. Kilroy J. Olster states, humankind's struggle against a hostile environment causes people throughout the ages to deploy their full armory of logic, training, strategy, imagination, inventiveness, and creativity. We are born with the natural ability to strategize. The most influential tool of humankind's intellectual toolkit is the ability to regenerate a sense of unruffled alertness, to establish a poised stance that leads to intuitive discoveries generated by the conscious and unconscious mind constantly, filtering a plethora of data, selecting critical facts, and producing elegant solutions to seemingly insoluble dilemmas. Number three, get used to being alone and do not worry about the jokes of shady people. Shady people are inherently stupid and will try to make fun of you to diminish your confidence. There is a quote that states, toxic people defy logic. Some are blissfully unaware of the negative impact that they have on those around them, and others seem to derive satisfaction from creating chaos and pushing other people's buttons. In this regard, Mike Cervinovich once made a good point. Even though he has since flown over the deep end, in my opinion, he said one time that you know why you care about what people think about you? It is because you do not have a plan. And I was thinking about this, and you know what? He was right. Most of us do not have a plan for our lives, so we live and die by the whims of other people. One of the most important things you can have is a plan for your life. For me, it was traveling and practicing MMA. I knew that however insufferable these idiots I was surrounded by were, the planning necessary for travel and learning new martial arts techniques kept me centered and focused. Aside from constantly trying to situate yourself to avoid shady people, make sure you have a plan for your life. Make it so no matter what happens to you, you stay grounded and focused on your goals. Well, if you like this video, like, subscribe, support other MGTOW channels, and I will talk to you later.